And it's kind of, Christopher Vogler does this a little bit in his book. Christopher Vogler's book, the green cover. Come on, does anybody know? The Hero's Journey? Yes.
Writer's Journey.
The Writer's Journey. He has his own version of this that he does, and I've kind of do my own version as well. But yeah, that's Haley's journey, and it's really cool.
I also think that this Myers-Briggs type indicator is awfully fun and exciting, and you should tell them all about it because you can get into your own stuff, which is fun.
So I like to give my characters an MBTI. Has anybody here done their MBTI, their Myers-Briggs typing? Okay, yes, I have. I love it. There's a free, okay, everybody do that. It's really fun, and it's really fun to do it. Pretend you're your character and go on and answer the questions and see what type your character is if you're stuck. And this gives you all these different temperaments and types. And it's really fun to just, if you need to get out of your own head and understand a different way of being, it's really fun to just answer, like, honestly, what you think the character would be, and then read what this person is like and what they would do for a living and what kind of challenges they have. It's, you know, it sounds dumb, but it's really fun. It's like you're really researching who you're writing. And it's really, I enjoy it enormously, and I also enjoy reading about my own type. And you know, if you take it for yourself as well as just a comparison. It's really cool. And this Keirsey temperament sorter, this guy invented a really short way to take it, so you don't have to do the 160 question version, which I have done. It's a really great lens of perception to look through your characters with. And I think we're all looking for new lenses of perception that we can put in front of us and go, you know, how does it look? How does the world look through this? And I love the Myers-Briggs typing indicator because it is a totally different lens of perception, and it just challenges my imagination in ways that are kind of beyond me when you're stuck or bored or, you know, getting incurious.
Should we ask for some questions?
Sure.
We'll break it up. We'll ask for some questions. Yes. Well, you're going to get a mic. Hold on. It's coming to you momentarily.
Just to expand on that, so you taking that to the next step, once you have you get to know your characters, you understand them, then you know the fun part is creating those situations in which you're exposing them to your audience. Like, you know, you get kind of in the studio world, like, this is the scene you have to have. We have to have that scene where the character does this because that's the ultimate expression of their whatever. Do you have a method where you explore, like, I want to see that, it says that character is agoraphobic, I want to see that character alone in an elevator with a big dog. You know what I mean? Like, whatever it is. How do you have a way that you sort of find I mean, I find myself, my biggest challenge is taking these, for lack of a better word, set pieces, because that's what they feed you, and going from, like, connecting the dots between these set pieces to really finding the set pieces that I mean, you want to give the audience those big money moments where you see that character with this big flaw in the ultimate situation that's going to be challenging for them. But I always have a hard time making it come from character that feels organic because I always know where I'm going. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know I have to deliver that. And so sometimes I feel like it's not organic and I wind up with all these things that I'm sort of connecting the dots. And I lose that sort of natural organic feel. So how do you take that, you know, once you know your character and you want to take them to this point, it's like find those things that maybe you're not being fed from the studio. You want to beat them to the punch. Like, give those moments that are going to be really satisfying, I guess.
Well, if you know the needs and wants, if you have the needs and wants or the internal goal, external goal, if you have that stuff mapped out, it should give you some really interesting ideas. And what I like to do before I get to set pieces is actually just kind of spitball. And I do it visually, I think in terms of images, not in terms of story, not in terms, this is where I kind of get away from it. And I kind of clear my mind or put on music that is appropriate for the character or the tone. And I really want to see what comes to me in terms of what's something I've never seen before with this type of person. What do I want to see? What's an intriguing way? What's a situation? And I just start spitballing. And you'll get bad ideas, but after bad ideas will come good ideas. And you just keep drilling down and try and challenge yourself to think of what are some cool, weird ways I can, challenge this character.
And another thing Jessica always said to me when I was working on stuff with her is, like, if you don't feel uncomfortable, you're not actually doing it right. Because I would just be like, oh, I feel so sick. Oh, it's not working. There's like a lot of sort of angst and trauma. But the point was, if it feels easy, it's because you've seen it somewhere before and it's existed before, and you're channeling something that has existed before. So you're like, yeah, hell yeah, I can do that. That's awesome.
And that's what the studios are asking you, is for the easy answer. They're feeding you this easy answer. We want this kind of scene. And so your job is really to beware the easy answer and deliver that moment in a fresh way. And so that's why I find it helpful to kind of think visually, and not everybody's visual. Everybody has a different dominant sense. So know what your dominant sense is and use that. If it's, if it's kinesthetic and you need to be out running around or out in the world to do that, go do that. If you need to look at magazines or look at images to stimulate it, do that. If it's listening to music, you should know what your dominant sense is, and use that to help feed it. But beware the easy answer. That's because the second you're going to go, everybody goes to the cliche place. That's the first place we all go, and then again, and then again, and it's like it's really drilling down.
Another thing just to throw in is, you're talking about set pieces and things like that. I just finished a movie that has like this whole entire chunk that's supposed to be very set piecey and very fun. And I was working on it, and I remember calling Jessica and being like, I'm just avoiding this. I was writing, and then I'd be like, and I would just write, and I just like skipped over this like 15-page chunk of the movie because I knew it was all just like hijinks ensue, and I wasn't feeling it, and I was like, okay, hijinks are going to ensue, but if you're not feeling it, you can't, it's just going to be bullshit hijinks. So one of the things that Jessica was helpful with is I brought her that problem, and she said, it's because you're not thinking about it as character. It's all about character. At this moment, what does the character need to like learn or experience or do during the set piece? It's like the set piece has to actually be about character. It can't just be funny hijinks. It has to be something is evolving for that person. And so the situation you're going to end up putting them in is actually just all about character. It can't be about funny. And then you hope you find something on the internet like human foosball, which exists. And then you end up finding a way to sort of have what you're doing be funny, but you have to know what you're doing. It totally exists. I swear to God, it's in my movie. Don't put it in yours. But yeah, and so you can find a way to, but you've got to know what they're doing emotionally.
Yeah.
In that sequence, or else you're just grasping at stuff. So that was helpful.
Can I use the example of the sisters?
Of course.
Please.
There
was, and I was reading Dana's script, and there's a great. It's about always a bridesmaid, never the bride kind of
Not really
character,
nice
and she a rewrite, and she launches into her bride. This how she becomes kind of enamored with being a bridesmaid. And then later in the movie, her sister steals this guy she loves from her. And I was just reading that, and I said, you need to have the sister steal the moment from her when she can first be a bride. You need to set that up emotionally. So when it happens later, we're like, it's setups and payoffs. So we're like, she can't get away from this pattern. She's in a constant reenactment of this pattern in her life.
And I had felt really strongly that you had to see the little girl who's my main character. I wanted this moment where she, solves a big problem at a wedding at 10 years old, and somebody hands her the flowers, and she becomes the flower girl, and that's the beginning of the sort of bridesmaid obsession. And it totally made sense in my mind, but then Jessica brought that to my attention, and I thought, oh my God, that makes it 1,000 times more emotional, that even the first one involved a little bit of a betrayal by the sister, a little bit of a scene stealing by the sister, because the whole rest of the movie becomes about the sister stealing the scene. So it was just,
the sister should get the flowers, and she gets the train of the gown. Just ways to show that emotional one-upmanship, the emotional one-upsmanship that happens between siblings. Show it in a way that you don't have to do exposition about it. We don't have to get into the mother. We don't have to get into the behavioral patterns. Just show, just a simple thing. Show what happens. Great setup, by the way.
Don't I have an awesome friend? I'm so lucky. I have Jessica.
I'm lucky too.
Let's take another question or two. Anybody? Any thoughts?
People look mystified.
Are you enjoying the book? The book's nice, right?
I have two questions. The first one's kind of fun. In Bring It On, Jesse at Bradford wears a Clash shirt. In Stick It, Haley wears a Black Flag shirt. So
Yes.
what's your next punk shirt that you're going to have in your script?
Oh, well, I'm
Or is
thank you
that
for
your
noticing the shirts because they were all written
I
in
know
the
they were.
scripts.
I know they were.
Yeah. Did you notice the Bad Brains shirt on the? There were some good shirts. It's actually the
liked
White
them.
House blowing up, and we had to hide it under her sports bra because it was like, Disney was like, no, we can't clear that.
And then, go